Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation with the theme of Articulate with Precision. We'll be exploring how mastering problem and solution language can significantly improve our communication. Over the next few slides, I'll guide you through key concepts and practical tips to sharpen your skills. Let's dive in and discover how to express ideas clearly and effectively. One major reason for the ongoing challenges we face is often rooted in deeper issues that aren't immediately visible. When we talk about the primary or root cause, we're really trying to get to the heart of the problem. What's actually driving these symptoms or obstacles? It's important to recognize that many problems have multiple layers, but identifying that core issue can really help us develop more effective solutions. A major cause of recurring issues, for example, might be a process flaw or a communication breakdown that isn't obvious at first glance. So, in this part of our discussion, we're focusing on how to identify that root cause, because understanding it is essential for making meaningful, lasting improvements across the board. Let's dive into the various factors that contribute to this problem. As we can see, it's not just a single issue, but a combination of different elements. One common misconception is that the fault lies solely with the government. While they do play a significant role, it's important to recognize that responsibility isn't theirs alone. Parents also have a crucial part to play in shaping behaviors and attitudes. In fact, both these groups are interconnected in influencing the overall situation. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore how assigning responsibility to different parties helps us understand the root causes, and ultimately, how we can work together to find solutions. When we're describing the problem, it's important to recognize the different dimensions it can have. First, we have the practical versus the emotional aspect. Practical problems are more about tangible, measurable issues, things that are straightforward to identify and fix. Emotional problems, on the other hand, involve feelings and perceptions, which can be more complex to address but are equally important. Next, we consider whether the problem feels pressing or long-standing. A pressing issue demands immediate attention. It's urgent and can't be delayed. Conversely, a long-standing problem has been around for a while. It might not seem urgent in the moment, but over time, it can erode trust or cause ongoing discomfort. Then there's the scale of the problem, minor versus major. Minor problems might cause inconvenience, but they rarely threaten the overall success. Major problems, however, can have significant consequences, potentially derailing projects or damaging relationships. By understanding these different facets, whether the problem is practical or emotional, pressing or long-standing, minor or major, we can better tailor our approach to addressing it. Recognizing these distinctions helps us clarify what we're dealing with and guides us toward the most effective solutions. This detailed understanding is crucial as we move forward in resolving the core issues at hand. Let's explore the theme of facing challenges head-on. When we talk about arise, we're referring to those moments when we find the strength to stand up after setbacks. It's about persistence and the resilience to keep moving forward. Persist emphasizes the importance of steady effort, even when obstacles seem insurmountable. These qualities stem from a deep inner drive, which is why we say stem from. It's the foundational motivation behind our actions. On the other hand, we encounter difficulties that beset us. Those are the challenges that surround us and try to hold us back. When we're confronted with these issues, it pushes us to face them directly, rather than avoiding them. The word dogged captures the perseverance needed, remaining determined and unwavering despite the hardships. Moving to the active side, pose challenges, encouraging us to see opportunities for growth. Create and cause highlight our role in shaping our circumstances. Our actions can influence outcomes significantly. All of this ties into the core idea of facing the challenge. It's about recognizing obstacles, summoning the courage to confront them, and ultimately creating pathways through perseverance and intentional effort. This slide reminds us that challenge is a natural part of growth, and how we respond to it defines our success. Let's take a moment to explore what we mean by the key, answer, or measure. Essentially, This is about identifying the core metric or solution that truly addresses the challenge at hand. It's about pinpointing what really matters in solving the problem. Next, we have the idea of a quick fix versus a magic bullet. Now, a quick fix might seem appealing because it offers an immediate, simple solution, but often it's just a temporary patch. On the other hand, a magic bullet suggests a perfect, one-size-fits-all answer that can be tempting but rarely exists in complex situations. Moving on, we consider a cure, remedy, or antidote. These imply solutions that actually address the root cause, providing a more lasting and effective resolution. It's about going beyond surface-level fixes and tackling the core issues. Finally, there's the art of the solution. This reminds us that finding the right answer isn't just about technical fixes. It's about skill, judgment, and understanding the nuances of the problem. It's an art form, balancing evidence, creativity, and context to craft a solution that truly works. When we look at the overall theme, it's clear that effective problem-solving requires us to identify meaningful measures, distinguish between quick fixes and deeper solutions, and approach challenges with both insight and skill. That's how we create sustainable, impactful results. So, here on this slide, we're talking about something that can make a bad situation better, which is often called an antidote. An antidote is like a remedy that directly counteracts a problem or a poison, helping to improve the situation quickly. Next, we have the word cure-all. This term is used when something is thought to solve any problem, no matter what it is. It's a bit of a catchphrase for a solution that claims to be effective in all cases, though in reality, that's rarely the case. Then there's panacea. This is a more formal word for a supposed cure for everything, a universal remedy that promises to fix all issues. While it sounds ideal, we need to be careful and critical because true solutions are often more complex and require specific approaches. Finally, on the right, we see powerful solution synonyms. These are words we might use instead of those terms to describe effective, impactful solutions. Recognizing these synonyms helps us understand different ways to express the idea of a strong, effective remedy. Throughout our presentation, the key theme is understanding how we approach problems. Whether we look for quick fixes, universal cures, or targeted solutions, and how to evaluate their effectiveness. When we look at solutions, there are different levels of impact and feasibility to consider. On one end, we have the drastic, radical, and immediate options. These are the kinds of solutions that can create a huge impact quickly, but they often require bold thinking and decisive action. They can be game changers, but also come with higher risks. Next, we have the ingenious, creative, and imaginative ideas. This is where innovation really shines, thinking outside the box and coming up with novel approaches that might not be obvious at first glance. Creativity allows us to find unique solutions that can stand out and truly address the problem in an effective way. Then we move to the practical side, workable, realistic, and viable solutions. These are the options that you can actually implement. They might not be the flashiest, but they are grounded in what's achievable given our resources and constraints. Practicality helps us ensure that our solutions are sustainable in the long run. Finally, we aim for the optimal, perfect, and ideal outcomes. While these might be aspirational, striving for the best possible solution is essential for success. The key is to find the right balance, choosing a solution that is impactful, innovative, and practical enough to be successful. So, when deciding on the right solution, we need to consider all these factors: impact, creativity, practicality, and the pursuit of excellence. Finding the right balance is what ultimately leads us to success. Now, let's explore the different ways we can communicate levels of obligation and suggestion. On this slide, we see the terms softer options and alternatives. These are used when we want to offer helpful suggestions or recommendations without sounding too forceful. For instance, using could indicates that something is possible or optional, giving the listener room to consider it without pressure. Moving on, we have should, which signifies a stronger obligation, but still leaves some flexibility. It's appropriate when an action is advisable or beneficial, especially for urgent issues where prompt attention is needed. It's a way of emphasizing importance while maintaining a professional tone. Finally, we come to must. This is the strongest form of suggestion or obligation. It indicates that something is essential and non-negotiable. When we use must, we're making a clear statement that the action is necessary and must be followed through. Understanding these distinctions helps us communicate effectively, especially when balancing politeness with clarity about priorities. Whether we're making helpful suggestions, emphasizing recommendations for urgent matters, or stating strict requirements, choosing the right level of language is key to ensuring our message is understood and properly acted upon. Let's talk about justifying our recommendations. It's really important to thoroughly explain why we suggest certain actions, so everyone understands the reasoning behind our choices. We want to make sure that our recommendations are based on solid analysis and clear evidence. This helps build confidence and ensures alignment with the overall goals of the project. Remember, connecting our suggestions to the conditions and constraints we've identified earlier strengthens our position. By doing this, we show that our recommendations are not just arbitrary, but well-founded and tailored to the specific situation. So, always aim to clearly articulate the logic behind your recommendations, linking them back to the data and analysis we've discussed. This approach makes our case more persuasive and helps stakeholders see the value in our proposed solutions. Let's talk about some practical ways to protect our environment. Stricter laws play a crucial role in preventing pollution, because when regulations are tighter, industries are held accountable and pollution levels decrease. Encouraging recycling is another powerful step. It helps us save resources like water, energy, and raw materials, making sure we're reducing waste and preserving our planet's limited resources. Planting more trees is also vital, as trees give us oxygen, improve air quality, and support biodiversity. These actions are real-world examples of how we can make a positive impact. They all tie back to the overall goal of creating a healthier, more sustainable environment for everyone. Let's walk through the final step in our process. First, we need to propose a solution that addresses the core issue we've identified. This means thinking creatively but practically about how to resolve the challenge at hand. Next, we should describe the impact of implementing this solution. What benefits will it bring? How will it positively influence our goals and outcomes? Then, we need to clearly identify the cause of the problem. Understanding the root cause is essential to ensuring our solution is effective and sustainable. Finally, this is your path to resolution, your strategic plan for moving forward with confidence and clarity. When you combine these elements, proposing a thoughtful solution, understanding its impact, pinpointing the cause, and having a clear path, you set yourself up for success. This approach not only solves the problem, but also reinforces your overall strategic thinking and problem-solving skills.